Fool's Ebony, Part the Fiveth. Dramatis Personae. Prologue. The Adventurer, a dark elf rascal. Coman, a priest of Akatosh. Lieben, another priest of Akatosh. Epilogue Steed, a priest of Julianos. Rake, another priest of Julianos. Shub, a mage. Shub, a different mage of the same name. Nephron, a somewhat sleazy merchant. 5 armorers Ortho Crun. Husband of Millie, a lusty contessa. Millie, innkeep and philosopher. Guernsey, bovine wench, assorted wenches and cads of the taverns, soldiers, dwarfs, giants. Part the Fiveth. Back with the priest's final plans and a killing or two. Is reported. Near the middle of the month of Frostfall, the Inn of the Pink Nymph. Enter Prologue, the Adventurer, Ortho, Nephron, the 5 armorers, and Prologue. Prologue. Our roguish dark elf, the adventurer, has plummeted before our stunned eyes, from the king of the spiderweb of intrigue to a pathetic crawling lump of Argonian excrement. In the quest for fool's ebony, that substance that all would kill for, the adventurer attempted to play mage against priests with the help of the merchant Nephron. Alas, that is to say, alack-a-day, the 5 armorers have trapped Nephron and the adventurer and taken over their scheme. The hulking Ortho now watches the adventurer's every move. But I get the feeling, to be honest, don't you, that beneath the adventurer's defeated, quivering jelly lurks a jungle cat of such cunning and resource to shatter all his enemies when the time is right. Of course I could be wrong. I see one of the priests of Akatosh, who believes himself a friend of the adventurer. I, Prologue, must away. Exit Prologue. Enter Lieben, a priest of Akatosh. Lieben. Evening there. Mind if I join you? Adventurer. Well, since you already have. No. And where is our esteemed brother? Coman, this chill evening. Lieben. You mean you haven't heard? Oh, I guess you have been busy with the preparations. Adventurer. Right, very busy. Lieben. Well, then let me tell you. Oh, what a bad business. What trouble. Oh, dear. Well, you doubtless recall that poor Coman had this, problem. Overwork, of course. Adventurer. Oh, yes, you fellows do work exceeding hard, seems to me. Lieben. Well, recall how Coman left somewhat erratically, as it were, and, made off with that young blondie under the lamppost outside? Well, in his, state of confusion, he grabbed the wrong blondie. Oh my, indeed the wrong one. Adventurer. They all look pretty much the same to me, but of course I do not look too hard. Lieben. Oh my, well, to cut a short tale to the bone, old Coman grabbed a contessa, who had thought to disguise herself. Oh dear. Adventurer. Well, did she get away? Did they catch Coman? What happened? Lieben. Well, old Coman, tipsy as he was quick to as spit in a gale, eluded all pursuit, took the lady to a small private retreat house that we have. Oh dear me. Well, the city guards, palace guards, half a dozen royals, all caught up with Coman 3 days later. 1 day too late for the poor contessa. I hear they had a hard time locating all the bits and pieces. Coman was there, passed out cold, and another body, some common blonde lamppost girl. By now, he is cold, permanently most likely at the bottom of the bay. Adventurer. Oh well, serves the Contessa right, coming down to this area, but I suppose there are repercussions. Enter 2 more priests, Rake and Steed to Julianos, and 4 armed city guards. Rake. Evening, Lieben. Evening, adventurer. And? Ortho. Me am Ortho. Rake. Yes, charmed. And Lieben, you indeed have my sympathies. If there is anything we can do to help, our Temple of Julianos, that is. But really, you should have kept Coman on a tight leash, or preferably a noose. Adventurer. Hello, Rake, and hello to you, Steed. How's your sister? Steed. She's great. Rake sets Steed on fire, but it goes out. Lieben. Yes, I know now. Oh, the repercussions. Do you know that the priests of Akatosh to Daggerfall Castle, Wayrest Palace, and just about everywhere else have all been thrown out? That the royal tax exemption for the Chantry has been revoked? That the Akatosh Chantry has just received a past due taxes bill? Oh my. Adventurer. Well, I suppose that we could help somewhat, maybe. Maybe a small loan from Julianos for that tax bill. With, say, a temple as security. Oh, there are not the taxes based on the number of the Priest of Akatosh, so maybe the school of Julianos could take over a significant number. Reduce your tax bill. You realize that this is not the best time for this, just as we need to get a lot of funds for that expedition that I am arranging for you. Lieben. Oh, I am sorry about Coleman, but yes, maybe if good brother Wright could, I hate to say this, take over a greater share of the financial burden. In return, of course, for considerations. Rake. Like a good number of permanently loaned priests? A long look at your books, at your collar, your names list, a temple of security on our loan, and of course a bigger cut in the proceeds of the expedition. Names of your suppliers? Lieben. Oh, I foresaw something like this. Talked a bit about it with my old mucky muck. Livid he was. But as I am senior brother, he finally authorized me to take care of it. Those weren't his exact words, mind you, which were quite a bit longer, more explicit, but the gist at least. Adventure. Of course, Lieben, if, and note I say if we are successful, why then you can easily get back into good graces of the palace. Merely sell on the goods as a good low rate. With first refusal on any shipment you have. What's one contested to them anyway? Lieben. Yes, that could work. Worth a try, but how? Royals will not talk to anyone from the Akatosh Chantry now. Adventure. Leave them to me. I can make approaches to certain ones. Yes, I could probably persuade them to let up on the Chantry in return for future favors. Lieben. Oh, how can I thank you? Adventure. Well, I need a fair amount of gold to finish setting up my little trip. Maybe 10,000. Special horses, reinforced carts, courtiers, guards. The list goes on. And the cost of keeping a little trip quiet is really quite high. Lieben. Well, yes, we can afford it, I guess. Do you have the map now, don't you? I know we could afford 8,000 gold, given the potential profits. Adventure. Rest easy, it's all here in my cloak. Show you in a bit. I've also managed to hire some good young hefty fellows, like old Ortho here, to manage the carts, dig and load, act as guards, and so on. Lieben. Good, I can relax a bit. Oh my, the fellows back at the Chantry will be so relieved. We really owe you, the Brotherhood does. Oh, I mean the Akatosh Chantry, of course. Steet. Brotherhood? What about our sisterhood, eh? Rick grapples Steet, allowing Lieben to hit Steet with the large mallet. Adventurer. Well, Rick, what about you and the school? How much are you good for, the extra 2,000? And maybe some more. Always lots of last-minute expenses on a trip like this, you know. Rick. Well, now, since we seem to be getting a whole extra set of priests, and other considerations, certainly. Adventurer. Well, gentlemen, and Steet, here it is. The adventurer pulls out a map, gives it to Rake. Oh, and by the arms of Zenithar, did I ever have to work hard for this. Those cagey mages, but in the end, just greedy old fools. Oh, just in case you or your head priest hasn't seen the goods, here's a sample. Play with it. The adventurer hands Rake a small leather bag. Rake. Thank you. I must admit, I had some, doubts, you know. Dealing with a stranger is so on. No more, partner. Adventurer. Good. Steet hiccups. Steet. Say, you fellows over here, this one? What's a priest keep under his robe? His sister! The adventurer, Lieben, and Rake beat Steet into unconsciousness. Rake. You know, I feel we really have to do something about young Steet here. His sister thing. Adventurer. Yes, he could be another Coleman, just what don't need. Lieben. The sister of his, does she exist? Rake. Oh, yes, oh my, yes. We know her well. I mean, we've often seen her. Lieben. I think, brother, that she should be made to see the error of her ways, so she is no longer an influence on Steet. Rake. Yes, most certainly. Lieben. a somewhat dialectical theological point. Oh, please excuse the technical discussion here. Rick, if we are to make her see the errors, well, how shall I put it? We first have to know just what the ways are, correct? Rick. Indeed, an astute observation. You are suggesting that, in a nut, we should first determine her ways, so as to be able to then show her the, errors? Levin. Precisely, mind you, a difficult, arduous, tiring project, I fear. One that will take all our will and energy. Rake. True, but challenging, eh? Take all our time, but then we shall have some time while friend the adventurer here is off hauling and carting. Levin. And I, personally, would feel far safer if we were in retreat, maybe? Studying the ways? Adventurer. Yeah, be a good idea for you two to, maybe disappear. For a while, of course. Cut down the chances of a rival faction catching on. Or catching you. Rake. Very well, Levin, why don't you and I take his sister with us on a theological retreat, as it were? Study the ways and details and so on. Levin. We could go on that unused little temple up on that shoulder of Edward's mountain, out of the way, quiet. Rake. 'Twas locks. Levin. Thick walls. Rake. A big cellar. Levin. Good. A settle then. A theological retreat. Oh, goody. Rake. Of course, once we know the, ways in detail, we can of course tell old-time Mucky Muck and let him take care of the, showing of the errors. Yes, that would improve his mood quite a bit. Levin. Then it's agreed. Let's start, say, day after tomorrow. Rake. Yes, adventurer, why don't I meet you at that, horrid ugly statue of, what on Tamriel is it? A harpy and a gargoyle? Called something silly like Vendigao, and her lover, or some such, up in the north-west corner of the town. Oh, and can I keep the map? Adventurer. Sure, keep it. I have a copy, and you will pass me a small bag there at that nasty statue. Rake. Have it all ready for you. Say 10 o'clock sharp? Oh, Levin, another thought about young Steed here. He really needs some seasoning in the field, one might say. Levin. Good point. I know the priest who handles field assignments is coming by tomorrow. We could arrange an educational assignment for Steed. Rake. Very good, but where? Winter's coming soon now. There's a vacancy up in Solitude, far north Skyrim, I believe. Night collections at street corners or some such. Very good. Come on, Levin. We have accounts to work on. Good night to you, then, adventurer. 10 tomorrow morning. Levin, Rake rise up to leave, picking up Steed. Levin and Rake, together, have to arrange some supplies, leather rope, holy wine, lots of that pink powder. I prefer the green myself. Exeunt Levin, Rake dragging Steed, and city guard. Nephron. Well? Adventure. Excellent. Just went as I said it would. Got 5,000 gold from them, and, thanks to your work with that Contessa, we have the screws on the Chantry, and the school of Julianus is going to be otherwise engaged on a theological retreat. More like a sanguine retreat. Nephron. And those mages Shub and Shub seem to have disappeared. Adventure. So, are we set? Nephron. Yes, you can come by my warehouse tomorrow afternoon. Have the heavy carts waiting. And Ortho. Nephron. Oh yes, we must not forget you fellows. How kind of you to volunteer your services. Adventurer. Tomorrow then. Exeunt Omnis. Last person to leave looks just like a royal in disguise. Enter Epilogue. Epilogue. Well, we only have one part left to this play, and I've run out of counting the number of loose strings. Either part the 6 is going to be 8 hours long, or we're going to leave some parts unsolved. I, for one, hope they don't choose to drop the character of the wanton Contessa. For Geoffrey's sake, she's been on the Dramatis Personae since part the 1th. Ah well, nobody leave your seat, your gold will not be refunded. Any gold you can spare to tip your friendly wenches will be greatly appreciated. We just have a quick costume change and a set to put together, and we'll be back. In the meanwhile, enjoy our bard's rendition of the Nordic classic Alas, the fleeting years glide by. So endeth part the 5.